Ever find yourself like snuggled up in bed, scrolling through your phone way past your bedtime? You know you should be asleep, but just one more video. We've all been there, right?
Right, and tonight we're going deep on that. That sneaky thing that keeps us from getting those Z's even when we're exhausted.
It's like my brain decides sleep is optional, even when my body's sending very clear signals that it's not. So what's the deal with that?
Well, it turns out there's some fascinating psychology behind why we hit the snooze button on sleep.
Okay, I'm all ears because honestly, sometimes I think I'm sabotaging myself.
You and pretty much everyone else.
Yeah.
But first things first, have you ever heard of revenge bedtime procrastination?
Revenge bedtime procrastination. Honestly, that sounds a little intense, like I'm about to declare war on my sleep schedule or something. What is that exactly?
It might sound dramatic, but it's a real thing. And honestly, it often boils down to feeling a lack of control during the day. So picture this. You've had a crazy busy day, jam-packed schedule, and you finally get some downtime late at night.
Okay, I'm with you.
So what happens? You end up staying up way too late doing, let's face it, probably something totally unproductive.
Oh, 100%. Guilty is charged, but how's that revenge exactly?
It's like your brain saying, hey, I didn't get to do what I wanted to all day, so I'm taking charge of the night.
Yeah, like I may have spent all day on conference calls and running errands, but this time the night is mine. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming those precious few hours for yourself, even if it means sacrificing sleep.
Right, makes sense. So it's all about control then.
It's definitely a big factor.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than that. Like, our brains also play some pretty sneaky tricks on us. Decision fatigue, for example.
Decision fatigue. Okay, tell me more about that.
So, after a long day of making choices, big and small, our brains are, for lack of a better term, fried.
Yeah, I feel that.
And that's when we're most vulnerable to temptation, those instant gratification traps like, oh, I'll just scroll through social media for 5 minutes or just one more episode.
And then 5 hours later.
Exactly. We're mentally spent. And that easy dopamine hit sounds way more appealing than the delayed gratification of a good night's sleep.
So we're too mentally drained to make the rational choice go to sleep, and we go for the easy dopamine hit instead.
Right. It's like our brains are working against us. Plus, let's not forget the emotional element here.
Oh, right. Like when I'm stressed and just want to zone out.
Exactly. We often use late-night entertainment as a way to de-stress, to unwind from the day.
It's like we're trading future rest for some present moment peace.
Right. And that actually ties into something called delay discounting, where the immediate reward of, say, watching just one more funny video feels way more appealing than the future benefit of waking up feeling refreshed.
And then you wake up feeling anything but refreshed.
Exactly. And to make matters worse, there's this constant fear of missing out. You know, like everyone else is out there having fun while we're asleep.
Okay, so our brains are basically hardwired to like totally sabotage our sleep, but I'm guessing it's not hopeless, right?
Not at all. There are definitely things we can do to, like you said, reclaim our nights.
Okay, because I need all the help I can get. So where do we even start?
Well, honestly, one of the most powerful things is establishing a consistent sleep schedule.
Wait, you mean like going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends?
Exactly. It might sound kind of basic, but it's huge. It's like hitting the reset button on your internal clock.
Okay, I could see that. But I'll be honest, becoming like a creature of habit, that does sound a little intimidating. What if you're not ready for a big change like that?
You don't have to do it all at once. Start small, maybe shift your bedtime by like 15 minutes each week. Even those little changes can make a difference.
Baby steps, I like it. What else have you got?
A relaxing bedtime routine can work wonders.
Okay, now this is what I'm talking about. Tell me more about this magical routine.
It's all about signaling to your mind and body that it's time to wind down. So things like taking a warm bath, reading a book, anything that helps you disconnect from the stress of the day and transition into sleep mode.
So we're talking about a dedicated wind down period, like 30 minutes to an hour before bed, where we swap the screens for something a little more chill.
Exactly. And speaking of screens, that brings us to another really important point. Limiting screen time before bed. That blue light that our phones and tablets emit, it's a major sleep saboteur.
Yeah, I've heard that. It messes with our melatonin, right?
Right. Blue light basically tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, so it suppresses the production of melatonin, which is the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle.
So even if I'm just scrolling mindlessly, I'm basically telling my brain to stay awake.
Exactly. Plus, the content itself, like social media and news feeds and those addictive videos, it's all designed to keep our attention, not to make us sleepy.
It's like trying to fall asleep at a rock concert.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And besides taming the tech, make sure your bedroom is actually a good environment for sleep. Keep it cool, dark, and quiet. Your own little sleep sanctuary.
And maybe keep the phone out of the bedroom entirely. Out of sight, out of mind, right?
Exactly. If it's not within arm's reach, you're less likely to give in to temptation.
Okay, so we've covered some, like, sleep hygiene basics, but it seems like we need to dig a little deeper, right? It's not just about the perfect bedroom setup, but why we choose distractions over sleep in the first
That's
place.
such a good point. It goes back to that, remember Reven's bedtime procrastination we talked about earlier?
Right.
It often comes from this feeling of not having enough control over our time, not enough fun, enough joy during the day.
So we try to cram those missing pieces into our night, even if it means sacrificing sleep.
Exactly. If our needs aren't being met during the day, our brains will try to get those needs met at night, even if it means less sleep.
Okay, so how do we break free from that cycle? Should we be, like, scheduling in fun time the same way we schedule meetings?
It might sound a little strange, but yeah, being intentional about how we spend our time is so important, even if it's just 15, 20 minutes here and there. Doing something you genuinely enjoy, reading, music, a walk, whatever brings you joy.
Right, fill your cup so you're not running on empty by bedtime.
Exactly, love that. And we can't forget about stress either.
Ugh, stress is the worst. For me, that's when those late night scrolling sessions really kick in.
Yeah, stress is a huge factor. That's why it's so helpful to work in some stress management techniques into your routine.
So, deep breathing exercises, meditation, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Even just a few minutes before bed, mindful breathing, gentle stretching, it can really help calm down your nervous system and get your body ready for sleep.
Giving your mind a chance to unwind and let go of the day instead of turning to your phone to do the trick.
Yes. And, it's interesting. Technology, it gets a bad rap when it comes to sleep.
Rightfully so.
True. But it can also be a helpful tool.
Wait, really?
Think about it. You can use your phone to set reminders for your bedtime routine. Or use those app timers to limit your social media use.
Okay, so instead of getting sucked in, our phones can actually help us break free, like a digital sleep coach.
Exactly. Although, even with the best tools and techniques, change can be tough. That's why accountability and support are so important.
It's so much easier to stick to something when you've got someone in your corner cheering you on.
Totally. Even just telling a friend about your sleep goals can make a difference. And of course, there's no shame in getting professional help if you need it. Seeing a sleep specialist can be incredibly helpful.
Right, especially with something as essential as sleep. And speaking of, I want to shift gears for a minute and talk about the payoff. So tell me, what do we stand to gain when we actually make sleep a priority? Like, what's the return on investment for a good night's rest?
The benefits are incredible. I mean, we're talking better physical health, stronger immune system, even lower risk of things like heart disease and diabetes. And that's not all.
Wow, so it really does impact, like, our entire system.
100%. And then there are the mental and emotional perks. You can think more clearly, you remember things better, your mood is more stable. There's even research that good sleep boosts your empathy, makes you a better person, basically.
Wow. It's amazing how something as simple as sleep can have such a huge impact on our lives.
It really is. And the best part is, these benefits, they're available to everyone.
So basically, better sleep, better you. Count me in.
Exactly. It's an investment worth making.
I love it. Well, we've covered so much in this deep dive, the sneaky psychology behind why we don't sleep enough, some real strategies to get more sleep, and of course, the amazing things that happen when we finally get that good night's rest. But before we go, I want to leave you with this. What's one small change you can make tonight, right now, to improve your sleep? Remember, even baby steps make a difference. Knowledge is power, but action is where the magic happens. So choose your sleep adventure, and we'll be back next time to dive into something new.